All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the state expedited accusations calendar in the state court of Fulton County, Georgia. I'm Judge Melanie Williams, and at this calendar, we'll set bonds for those individuals who've been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this particular proceeding. As you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice. Miss Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
September the 26th.
Thank you. Those who receive a surety or cash bond are going to the state all-purpose calendar on the 26th, whereby aspects of the case, including bond, can be revisited. Have all members of the Public Defender's Office had the opportunity to interview their clients?
No, no, Your Honor. I need a Spanish interpreter for position 3. That's been requested. Kind of got noticed late, so I would have to. That's Sandra Gomez Lopez. I would have to interview her in a breakout.
Will we have interpretation today?
Mr. Cook, who did you submit the request to? Because
I have a big long list. I always submit it to the same people.
I have to check with Mr. Jordan because I didn't receive a request in my email for it. Let me check with Mr. Jordan and see if he has any information, Judge Williams.
Maybe I hit the wrong list, but usually I get the right one.
Okay. All right, let's begin. Who do we have?
Your Honor, to answer your question, I believe McWright, MCW, McWright still needs to be interviewed, if that's mine. And also the Alfreda guy named Sanez. Oh, I'm sorry, his name is Morris.
Okay, can you call the jail and we take some of Mr. Cook's cases?
Yes.
Oh, I've interviewed McWright. He's been interviewed, but he's going to require either an empty courtroom or a breakout, given the charge.
Okay. So I'll get hold of Mr. Morris up there at Alfred if he was not transported.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Who's in the chair at courtroom 2, or are we going to ACDC first?
Judge, we can do ACDC.
All right, who's at ACDC? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge. I hope you're doing well.
I am. Good to see you.
Okay, this is going to be number 8, Meborn.
All right, thank you.
That'll be me, Your Honor.
Okay, can we take some? Are you about to call the jail now, Mr. McLean?
I can do Meborn first. It'll be quick.
Okay. Miss Meborn, your case is 24CR006426C. You're charged with theft or loss of mislaying property. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please? Thank you, Ms. Meborn.
Third arrest. Got an open case. Defective headlight. What else? Suspended registration. Suspended license. Escape. 2020 sale of marijuana. Possession of a Schedule 1 or 2. She's out on pretrial.
No. Okay.
That's my case, Your Honor. That's a case number 24CR001213C. That's Miss Meborn's open case. This is an incident that occurred on the 1st of July, Your Honor. The victim in this case, Kimani Christopher, first name Kimoni, reported that while she was working doing delivery for Uber Eats, she realized her phone had been taken out of her pocket. She explained to police that she'd been at the Juicy Crab at 3650 Marketplace Boulevard in East Point at about 9:15 when she was picking up food. She put her phone in her pocket and then shortly thereafter realized it was gone. Surveillance was reviewed from that location. It showed her leave with her phone. Her tracking on that phone showed that it went from the area at the Juicy Crab to somewhere off Camp Creek around the same area, maybe 20 minutes later. And eventually it was taken to an Echo ATM in Marietta. I believe they're at Kroger's. where you can sell an iPhone. Unfortunately, you have to use your driver's license and it's video surveillance on these machines. So the defendant in front of you was captured on video surveillance, putting that phone into the Echo ATM and receiving $40 for it and using her driver's license and ID. We're asking for $1,000 surety, Your Honor. She's got an open case. She's clearly in violation of a bond requirement that she commit no further crimes. Have no contact with Kimani Christopher, Kimoni. Stay away from all Echo ATMs and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Allen. In line of information before me, Mr. McLean, I am inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail. However, I would require the remainder of the requirements as requested by the state. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $4,000 SOB through the jail. She stay away from any of those ATMs. Have no contact with Miss Kimani Christopher. Have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I'm sounding for Miss Christopher. All right, hearing none. Best of luck to you, Miss Newborn.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Are you down at ACDC?
Yes, we're done. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Take care. Have a good afternoon.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that Ms. Chancey will be the interpreter today.
Yes. All right, Miss.
Good afternoon, Your
Will
Honor.
please raise your right hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear and affirm that you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you.
Mhm.
As soon as we can we put Mr. Cook in the breakout with the parties that need interpretation? In the meantime, is courtroom 2 gone?
Yes, it seems like courtroom 2 dropped off, Your Honor.
I wish I could today.
Why?
Back.
Can we call and see if we can get him back, Miss Champion? Or Miss Bridgewater? Somebody, can we find the jail? Is the internet out? Is that what happened in courtroom 2?
Yes. Yeah, Judge. So we're gonna be on the iPhone.
Oh my God. So how are we gonna do any of the break? I guess we're gonna do that.
The breakout session for the interpretation, we're gonna have to do that last.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, Miss Chancey, you don't have anywhere else to be, do you?
No,
Sergeant
Your
Glenn?
Honor, I can wait.
Okay,
Okay.
I was about to say, Sergeant Glenn, we have we have the two issues, the interpreter and then the one that needs the, because of the nature of the charge.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, let's keep
We'll
going.
start with the regular 2 o'clock calendar, Judge.
Say that again.
thank
Say
you,
you
sir.
don't-
We'll start the regular 2 o'clock.
The night is fraught with errors. I don't understand.
And it's not even night yet. Just wait.
It's not even real good afternoon. All right, who do we have at the iPhone?
Position number 10,
Okay.
that's Mr. Moore.
And has he been interviewed? This is not somebody who needed to be interviewed, correct?
Yes, he has been.
Okay. All right, it's going in and out. I pray, Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, your case is 24 CR 0064048. You are charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights?
I understand it.
All right, Mr. Howard.
99 cents.
75 total. 2024 giving false name. 2021 battery obstruction conviction. 2015 giving false name, theft by taking conviction. And a 2011 FTA.
Okay. Miss Allen?
Your Honor, this case was reset from yesterday. Okay. The case in front of you is from September the 10th. The defendant was seen riding his bicycle on the property of the Atlanta International School after previously being criminally trespassed at that location because he'd been riding his bicycle there unclothed previously. That's at the intersection of Farr Road and Fulton Road. It's a school. The address is 2890 Fulton Road. He has many cycles you just heard about from pretrial. We would ask for $1,000 surety, stay away from the location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we'd be asking for an MHET, Your Honor.
Why was he reset from yesterday?
He didn't want to come to court, I believe. You can ask I'm not
That's
sure.
fine. I was making sure there was no issue on our part or something. Okay, I understood. Thank you. Mr. McLean?
Yesterday, Your Honor, refusal, but today he is not a refusal. I've explained to him his charges. Unfortunately, he is residentially challenged. And so if Your Honor were to consider a signature bond, we would have him at a shelter getting his mail. And we would ask the court to consider that. Otherwise, he'll be at SAP in 2 weeks, and I think it'll work out there. In the meantime, we will have social worker services. He was seen today by both Mr. Harris of our social work division and myself, and he was cooperative in discussing the matter with both of us.
All right, defendant's gonna receive $1,000 surety bond. He's going to SAP, therefore. I'm not gonna do the MH. I am gonna require to stay away from that school. Is there anything additional?
Can you repeat that bond amount? Sorry, Your Honor.
1,000 surety. All right.
Your Honor, could somebody chat me? I've tried 2 or 3 phone numbers to reach Alpharetta. Can somebody simply get Alpharetta to call my desk phone, which is 25215? That would work better.
They'll try. I don't know if they can if they're on the phone, but we'll see. If anyone can at the jail can facilitate that for Mr. McLean, we'd appreciate it. If not, we understand. All right, who do we have next? Oh me.
Your Honor, if I might scoot over to Cunningham, that's a situation where we've reset for MH purposes. By hook or crook, I'd just like to get that one onto SAP so that we can work on that a bit more.
Cunningham is that on? There must be an add-on or something.
Add-on.
That's an add-on. Yeah, he's been here a little while. We probably need to.
And he has been seen by our making a little progress. He's been seen by our social worker, by me. So
did he waive his appearance? If not, he has to come.
no, he should be here. We can explain to him that he's going to SAP that unless
Who are we speaking on? Sorry.
Cunningham.
Cunningham, first initial A, and he is on the add-on calendar.
Position number 1 on the add-on. Aramis.
Yeah, we didn't bring him. Hold on, give me a second. Standing in front of you guys is position 12.
Let's just take who we have. Let's try to roll. Okay.
Okay, no,
This is Mosby.
that's mine, Your Honor.
All right. Your case is 24 CR 0064228G. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property. Do you understand your rights? You can nod. Oh, can you
He
hear
got
us?
9.
He gotta say something. Can you? Oh, I'm sorry, she. My apologies. Can you hear us? All right. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Please.
9
continue.
total, 2022 FTA probation, 2022 trespass conviction, 2020 simple possession conviction, 2019 contributing to delinquency of a minor conviction.
Your Honor,
Okay.
that's my case. This is an incident from September the 10th between 6 and 9 p.m. at 2949 Baker Ridge Drive Northwest. A vandalism a call was made by a neighbor there who reported they saw a Black female who appeared to be having some kind of an episode, going from house to house asking for cigarettes. The neighbor, whose last name is Sterling, said she heard a loud noise and looked outside after she'd witnessed this individual. And they were seen standing next to a broken window and a stick was on the ground. So she notified police, gave a description. Police responded to the location and actually made contact with the defendant, whose address is listed as 794 Duffield Drive, not this location. The victim in this case is Jerkari Jackson, Jerkari. He was seen to have a damaged window at his residence, and it's an exterior window. We've been in touch with him today. We'll see. He reports he does not know the defendant, and he's requesting a stay away and no contact. We'd ask for $1,000 surety, Your Honor. Stay away from the location. Again, that's 2949 Baker Ridge Drive. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right, Mr. Jackson, if you'd like to make a statement quickly, please turn on your camera, raise your right hand. Statements are not required, however. All right, sounding one last time for Mr. Jackson. All right, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, while my client grew up in Tennessee and graduated from high school, she has been in the Atlanta area for a year.
Sorry. Go on, Mr. McLean. Go ahead.
She has worked in warehouse and cooking jobs. And her last job was a month or two ago. So currently she's unemployed, but she's looking hard for a job. She lives on Duffield Drive in Collier Heights neighborhood in what's called a pad split arrangement, where it's kind of like a rooming house and kind of not. And, you know, they pay a certain couple $100 a week. And she is looking actively for a job. We would ask the court, with her community ties established, even though they're only a year, I've got a good phone number for her and an address. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond given the nature of the charge.
All right, Mr. Jackson, very quickly unmute, turn on your camera. If you don't get it in the next few seconds, we have no choice but to move on. This is a very large calendar today. We must see you and not just unmute it.
Hello.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell me briefly? I'm not sentencing the defendant today. This is just a bond hearing. There will be other proceedings. What would you like to tell me?
Yes. Just essentially that, you know, I did come home to see that my window was shattered. It looked like it was a huge tree branch. My neighbors was telling me that, you know, she was being, you know, harassed. She felt like that I guess the defendant was like maybe spaced out or on some sort of drugs or high or whatever. Is obviously in this economy, you know, it's hard on everybody, and inflation is crazy, so no one can really afford to just be doing unnecessary damage repairs. So, you know, the timing was very just pretty much inconvenient, just coming home from work seeing
Okay,
that.
what I just need to confirm is you don't want any contact with her and you don't know her, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so there's a victim witness advocate. If you need to give them more detail, I'm just gonna, this is a bond hearing and there will be other proceedings, okay? I don't mean to cut you off, but we had a lot of work to do today. The victim witness advocate is a good source for you to get in contact with, okay? Thank you. I do appreciate you coming to court to make this statement. Defendant is going to receive $1,000 surety bond. She is absolutely to stay away from the location of this incident. She is to have absolutely no contact whatsoever with Mr. Jackson, have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. She is going to the state all-purpose calendar for further adjudication. All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
And you know, that's September the 26th.
Yeah, September 26th, state all-purpose calendar.
Next, we have
Look at that before then. All right.
Next, we have position number 9, Ms. Milton.
All right, Ms. Milton, your case is 24 CR 004 6440G. You charged with battery. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
First.
All right, thank you. Ms. Allen.
Yes, Your Honor. This is an incident that happened on the 30th of August at about 3 a.m. Police were called to 4063 Dinmont, Dinmont Chase. There, the victim, whose name is Autumn Thomas, reported that while having friends over for a gathering, her ex-girlfriend, the defendant, became upset and struck her multiple times in the face with her fists. She was seen to have swelling to her left eye. There's no indication that these individuals ever lived together. We tried to get in touch with Mrs. Thomas today, but have not been successful. Police observed the swelling to her left eye, and there were multiple witnesses, Your Honor. Based on the fact that this defendant has no record, we're asking for a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Absolutely no contact with Ms. Thomas. Stay away from the location at 4063 Dinmont Chase, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Okay, I'm sounding for Ms. Thomas at this time if she wishes to make a very brief statement. All right, Mr. McClain, this is your case.
We consent and we agree, Your Honor. What level of pretrial would that be if the court goes along with that?
It will be at level 1. Any objection?
Thank you. None.
All right, defendant's going to receive a 2,000 SOB through pretrial level 1. I am going to require a 1-day anger awareness course. She's to have no alcohol, drugs, no weapons, no contact with Ms. Thomas, and she's to stay away from that address on Dinmont Chase. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next? Oh, wait, we have some other breakouts. Are we able to put Mr. McClain in, I'm sorry, Mr. Cook into the breakout with Ms. Chancey?
Yes.
And courtroom 1, is that the party who needs interpretation?
No, it would be in courtroom 2.
Okay.
Oh no, courtroom 1 is correct. Sorry, Your Honor. I can't.
Okay. So let's put Mr. Cook, courtroom 1, and Ms. Chancey into the breakout, please. All right, and let's take up some cases that are not Mr. Cook's.
Let me inquire, since Cook had, we're suffering under a lack of, there's a bit of a glitch with email. If McWright was interviewed by Cook, Martinez was also interviewed by Cook. Correct?
Hold on.
What else?
We can go with position number 14, Mr. Henry Smith in courtroom 2.
Very good.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith, your case is 24 CR 006432Y. You're charged with possession and use of a drug-related object. You understand your rights?
This is Curtis Smith.
What's your name?
Curtis Smith, not him.
Oh, he's Curtis Smith. Okay,
Curtis.
24 CR 006463G. You're charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes.
So
All
who
right.
we doing?
13 Curtis Smith.
Hold on. Norris, you got the felony bond amount for Smith? 16 total, 2022 battery. Got to open unlawful to commit with intent obtain, and this is long. Earn, maintain membership, something about increasing status in a street game. And some drugs.
Okay.
23 SC 188406. On probation for ag assault, a deadly weapon. Ag assault, possession of a firearm during the commission. Simple assault, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. 22 SC 182128. 2021 probation, couple of FTAs from 2019, one from 16, and a robbery 2015 first offender.
Okay.
That's
All
my case, Your Honor. This is an incident from June. This young man's had an active warrant for this incident for a period of time now. Police were called to 5493 Cascade Ridge in South Fulton on the 16th of June. There, the victim, Shankenya Battle, that's SHANKENYA, and I believe she's joined us on the Zoom, reported that she'd been assaulted in the car with this gentleman who she'd been dating for a short period of time, and it had been on the highway. Later, she'd invited him over so that he could get his things and they could discuss their relationship. And he came to her house at Cascade Ridge on the date in question on 6/19. While he was gathering his belongings, he went outside as if he was leaving and going to his vehicle. She was inside the residence standing there when she became concerned because she didn't hear the car leave. The next thing she knows, he was banging at the front door while she was standing inside, yelling at her. He eventually kicked the front door in. She fled to the bathroom where she called 911. Police on the scene saw that the door to her residence had been kicked in. She reported to police that he left in his vehicle before police arrived. And while police were on scene, the victim received multiple calls from the defendant saying things like, you're going to play with my name. I was just trying to get my things. I'm going to see you. And she expressed that she was afraid. She found this threatening. He also was demanding the purse that he had purchased for her. A neighbor at the location provided ring footage of the defendant yelling and banging loudly on the front door, actually saying the things that he also said on the phone that were heard by police, and the victim yelling for him to get out of her house, saying, I asked you to leave and you broke my door. We spoke with Mrs. Battle today. She says they're no longer in a relationship. She confirmed the events in the warrants. And she says that her door has been repaired, Your Honor. What you did hear from pretrial, although it was quick, is that there's a felony street gang and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon case that's open. That's a 23 SC case. Possession of a firearm, aggravated assault, family violence included, 22 SC conviction. a burglary conviction from 2019, as well as 3 other convictions that I can count since 2012. He's also got a 2022 battery family violence conviction against a different young woman named Tasha Graham. Based on that information, Your Honor, we're going to ask for $1,000 surety, seeing as this is 2 counts of criminal trespass. Stay away from the location. Again, that is 5493 Cascade Ridge. That's in South Fulton. No contact with Miss Battle and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And if you'd sound from Miss Battle, thank you.
Hello. Oh, 1 second. All right, Ms. Battle, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, again, I'm not sentencing the defendant today. Whether you agree with the facts that Ms. Allen stated is not what I'm most concerned with. What I need to know is if you wish to have contact and if you have any concerns for your safety. What would you like to tell me?
I don't have any concerns for my safety. I don't care if we contact each other. He has paid for the door, like it's fine. Like I really want it dismissed.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. McLean.
Given all that, Your Honor, and everything we've heard, I think it is reasonable to ask the court to consider a signature bond. However, with the holds, as a practical matter and all candor to the court, it looks like for the next 14 days, it could be moot as to what bond he has on these 2 misdemeanor counts. But given the perspective of what's going on in other cases, if the court were to grant him a signature bond, he would take care of his other business. He does cut hair. He has barbering skills. He also does other work. He has a stable address. Wouldn't miss court. Thank you.
All right, defendant's going to receive $1,000 surety bond, $500 on each count. He's to have no further violent contact with Miss Battle, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and he is still to stay away from that location in Cascade Ridge.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Smith. Who do we have next?
Position number 14, Mr. Smith.
The other Mr. Smith. This is Henry Smith?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Henry Smith, your case is 24 CR 006432Y. Is he coming? All right, you're charged with possession and use of drug-related objects. Mr. Howard?
27 total. You got to arrest this year, possession of drug-related objects.
No talking.
On probation, robbery, ag assault, 22 SC 180944. 2015 probation, 2014 simple battery DV conviction, theft by taking conviction, and disorderly conduct conviction.
Okay.
Your Honor, that's my case. This is from September the 11th. Police were called to 1161 Ponce de Leon Avenue. That's an Exxon station. They were requested by the clerk there to come and issue a criminal trespass warrant to the defendant. While police were engaged in conversation with the defendant, they saw that he had an active warrant for his probation violation out of Fulton. That actually had been issued way back in January of 2024. So he's had an active warrant pending for a period of time. He is on probation for aggravated assault and robbery based on a 2022 conviction date. And while on scene with the police, he had a crack pipe, a glass pipe in his possession that he admitted was his and was for the purpose of smoking drugs. Based on the fact that this person's not only had an active warrant for a period of time, but he's currently on probation for violence and was already arrested in the past year for the same issue, we'd ask for a stay away from the location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and there's $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor.
Was he found to have any actual drugs on him at this time?
No, Your Honor, not that I see.
All right. Mr. McLean, in light of information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail. However, I would require that he stay away from that location. Any objection?
No objection.
All right. Defendant's going to receive an $8,000 SOB through the jail. He is to absolutely stay away from that location and have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 16, Mr. Warren.
All right, Mr. Warren, your case is 24 CR 006439B. You're charged with battery. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Hey, the last bond was 1,000.
No, 8,000 SOB jail.
All right, who is this?
Warren.
Warren, 17/2024, possession of firearm by convicted felon, theft by receiving, possession of meth, driving without a valid license, possession of marijuana. 2019, possession of meth conviction, 2017 FTA, 2016 drug conviction, 2015 disorderly conduct, no law. That's it.
All right, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor, that's my case. He does have an open, unindicted case that was an arrest from February of this year, theft by receiving, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as possession of meth. He also has a meth possession conviction from 2019, and history out of Kentucky, in addition to Georgia. This is an incident that happened on September the 10th, Your Honor. Police were called to 1020 Lenox Park Boulevard. There, the victim in this case, William Choate, Choate, reported that he and the defendant had been staying in an Airbnb and they were arguing over their rental car. The defendant took the rental car keys and the residence keys from the victim and refused to return them. So police stood by while the defendant handed back over the rental car keys. Shortly thereafter, police were called again to the same location where victim Choate, Choate, was seen to have a bleeding injury to his shin. He reported that he'd gone to the Airbnb location to again try to find his keys for his residence because the police were only able to get him his rental car keys when they had their first interaction. And while calling the police because the defendant was not assisting and being rude, the defendant kicked him in the shin. Let's see, the defendant was arrested there on scene, Your Honor. They do not live together, although I do believe the indication here is that they've had a long history. We've tried to call Mr. Choate today, haven't had any success yet. Based on the felony conviction history and the active case that this defendant is out on bond for, like I've previously argued, the ELA factors, there's a risk to reoffend. This person also has history from out of state. So we would ask for a $2,000 surety bond, Your Honor, no contact with Mr. Choate, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Mr. Choate present and wishes to make a brief statement? Hearing none, Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, although he's been from Kentucky, he's been in the Atlanta metro area for 10 years, so he is truly a local person by this time. He has a stable address, phone numbers, and that sort of thing. Plenty of local contacts. The Ayala factor of the risk to reoffend would be taken care of with the stay away. I mean, the no contact. So we would ask the court to consider a signature bond. Let's see, in terms of I was looking for his employment. He has a word of mouth business. He does a certain business, but I forgot to write down exactly the noun that it was, but it is a going concern. I'll put it that way. So he is industrious. Thank you.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $1,500 surety bond. He needs to have no contact with Mr. Choate, stay away from that location, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and he is being reset to all purpose on the 26th. Best of luck to you, Mr. Warren. Who do we have next?
Next we have position number 15, Mr. Thompson.
All right, Mr. Thompson, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 006430G. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage. You understand your rights? Is that a yes? All right, thank you, Mr. Howard.
You got a couple of 2015 arrests for trespass. Dismissed. That's it.
Okay. Ms.
Your
Allen?
Honor, that case, this is a case from September the 11th at about 3 a.m. Police were called to 700 Cooper Street Southwest. That's actually the Calvary Temple Baptist Church. There, the person calling 911 reported seeing the defendant damage the side door of the location. They provided a description of the defendant. On scene, The police made contact with the defendant, who claimed that he lived there at the church and he'd forgot his key. He also admitted breaking the door in order to get inside. He could provide no proof of living at that location. His address listed in the jailings, Your Honor, and in his history shows Villa Rica. All of his history from 2009 to 2015 are in Carroll County, which is where Villa Rica is, Your Honor. We're asking for $1,000 SOB through pretrial, MHET, Your Honor. Stay away from the location at 700 Cooper Street Southwest, which is the church. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right. He had prior criminal trespass, so it can't go through the jail. Okay, Mr. McLean, what I'm inclined to do is give your client a $5 cash fine and a stay away. Any objection?
No objection.
All right, defendant's gonna receive a $5 cash fine. He is to stay away from the that church location, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Mr. Thompson, I'll call your grandmother.
Okay, I got a
All right.
card. Need to pay for it back.
Yeah, I'll call your grandmother because you need $5. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
All right, who do we have next?
We just have Mr. Cook's clients now. We're just waiting for him to come back.
No conflict, no Miss McLeod today. Okay.
Let's see. We have
There was a waiver, you said, Mr. McLean?
well, I had Cunningham, I think needs to go to the SAP, and if that necessitates a waiver, I'll just stretch over to do.
I don't think Cunningham. Oh, Cunningham is one on the add-on, and
Yeah.
he didn't actually waive his appearance today.
Well, he's been seen by the social worker. He needs some services, and we're going to provide. But he just needs a little time to work on him.
So the defense needs to waive Riverside, Your Honor. This case has been reset multiple times.
Well, as long as
Otherwise, he needs to be heard. He needs to have a cell phone taken to his
he
location.
still has to have a first appearance, so that's not issue anyway. But Riverside is not going to attach because he's not being reset. But he's still being reset for reasons other than
He has not been appraised of his charges, and he has not waived his appearance.
right. I understand, but what I'm saying, Ms. Allen, Riverside conditions attach only if it's our fault that he's not had a first appearance. So this is not going to. I'm not going to
Just
say
need
that
a finding on the record. That's all. I need it to be documented.
he's still coming. I'm going to reset him to tomorrow. I'm not just going to straight set him to SAP because I'm going to find he still has to have a first appearance or he has to give Mr. McLean an affirmative waiver. So
Mr. McLean is indicating that he's not able to give a waiver.
He has not so far been able to give a waiver. That's true.
How many times has he been reset?
Wasn't he on yesterday? Was he the day before as well or not?
Can the clerk assist with that information, please?
All right, we'll come back with that. We have
He was on the day before too. I think this is his third time being reset at this point.
and he's refusing to come
Yes.
out. Then we need to take a phone to him. Then we can do that perhaps.
No. Did have him interviewed by the social worker who agrees he needs some service.
Okay, we'll come back to that discussion. Let's let Ms. Chancey get going so that she doesn't have to be here all day. Which position required interpretation?
Number 3, I believe, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We are here for 24 CR 006434Y, the case of Lesbia Gutierrez Lopez, in which she's charged with battery.
Estamos aquí por el caso 24 CR 006-433F por la señora Gómez López con un cargo de golpes y lesiones.
In this case, ma'am, I want to advise you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
En este caso quiero decirle que tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You also have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Cook is here to represent you.
También tiene el derecho a ser representada por un abogado y el señor Cook está aquí representándola.
And as you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet. Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing?
Y como usted ve, yo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia a través de la internet. ¿Entiende usted sus derechos y cómo estoy llevando a cabo esta audiencia?
Do you understand your rights, ma'am?
¿Usted entiende esos derechos, señora Gómez? Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Señor Howard.
Second arrest, alien inadmissibility was the only arrest.
Este es el segundo arresto. El primero fue por ser inmigrante indocumentado.
All right, Ms. Mokake, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, and just confirming, this is Sandra Gomez Lopez, position 3.
Y para confirmar, esta es Sandra Gómez López. La posición es número 3.
Yes.
Okay, this incident occurred September 11th at the Hilton Hotel located at 255 Cortlandt Street Northeast. This is a
One moment, please. Este
I
incidente ocurrió en el 9 de septiembre de este año en el Hotel Hilton en el 255 Portland Street.
This is a co-defendant case. The other defendant is Lesbia Gutierrez Lopez, position 5.
Este es un caso de coacusados. La otra coacusada es Lesbia Gutiérrez López, que está en la lista, posición número 5.
I believe that was NOD, I think, but.
Okay, this is Sandra Gomez Lopez, not Lesbia Gutierrez Lopez.
Yes, and Miss Gutierrez Lopez was not NOD.
Yes, that's correct. That was said. I think I think your cross defendant was NOD, though, I think.
Okay.
Her bond was posted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, she was bonded. Okay. Thank you.
This is position 3, though, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am. I gave you the wrong number. Your number is 24 CR 006433F.
Entonces, esta es Sandra Gómez López. El número de caso es 24 CR 006 433F.
All right. Continue, Ms. Mokake.
Continúe,
Yes.
señora Mokake.
The parties are both employees at the hotel where the incident occurred.
Las partes son empleadas en el hotel donde ocurrió el incidente.
The parties got into a fight after defendant Gomez confronted defendant Gutierrez about defendant Gomez having an affair with defendant Gutierrez's husband.
Las partes se involucraron en una pelea después que la acusada Gómez agredió a la acusada, one moment please, a Gutiérrez, debido a que la acusada, un alegato de que la acusada Gutiérrez estaba teniendo una aventura con el esposo de la señora Gómez.
Both parties stated the other one was the primary aggressor and both had visible abrasions on their bodies.
Las dos partes declararon que la otra fueron los primeros agresores y se pudo observar raspaduras en ambas de ellas.
Given the defendant's limited criminal history, the state's recommendation is a signature bond, no further contact with defendant Gutierrez. I will defer to the court regarding a stay away as the incident occurred at their workplace. I don't know if they can be ordered to work at like different shifts. Anger awareness and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
One moment, please. Lo que debido a los pocos antecedentes en el historial de la acusada, quisiera recomendar una sentencia con una fianza bajo firma, no tener más contacto con la acusada Gutiérrez, mantenerse distanciada también de ellos. No sé cómo va a suceder en la situación de que trabajan en el mismo lugar, quizás puedan trabajar diferentes horarios, tomar una clase de manejo de la ira y que se prohíbe el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
All right, Mr. Cook, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to accept that recommendation. Do you have any objections?
El señor Cook, ¿tiene alguna objeción acerca de la recomendación presentada?
Well, I just wanted to state for the record that my client does in fact, her position is in fact that the cross defendant was the primary aggressor and that my client was acting in self-defense. Given her modest income, Your Honor, we would, well, it's an SOB, so we would seek to get the signature bond to the jail, and we would be asking for no anger management.
All right, I won't.
Bueno, en realidad la recomendación es aceptada y mi cliente tiene una posición alegando que la coacusada fue en realidad la agresora primaria y que actuó en defensa propia. Por eso sugerimos una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel y que no se requiera una clase de manejo de la ira.
All right. Defendant,
I'm sorry, debido a los escasos ingresos de mi cliente.
all right. I'm not going to require the anger awareness. I'm going to give her a signature bond at level 1. Defendant's going to receive a $3,000 SOB through pretrial level 1.
Entonces, no voy a requerir que tome un curso de manejo de la ira. La fianza es de $3,000 bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al público, al juicio en el nivel 1.
She's to have no contact with the cross defendant.
No debe tener ningún tipo de contacto con la coacusada.
I'm not going to require to stay away from her work. She can return to work if she still has a job there.
No voy a poner un requisito de que se mantenga distanciada de su trabajo. Ella puede volver a trabajar si ella todavía está empleada ahí.
And have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
All right. Is there anything additional from State or Defense?
¿Hay
No,
algo
señor.
más de la Fiscalía o Defensa? No, su señoría.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Gomez Lopez.
Mucha suerte, señora Gómez López.
That's the end of your case.
Aquí termina su caso, hoy.
All right. Is there anyone else who requires interpretation today? Ms. Chancey, will you sound?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español para hablar con la señora jueza? Por favor, avísenos, prenda su cámara y háganos saber.
Hearing none. Thank you, Ms. Mokake. I appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
I'm sorry, Ms. Chancey. Take care.
That's all right.
I'm the wrong
Thank
person.
you.
All right.
Have a
Take
good
care.
day, Your Honor.
Bye-bye, Ms. Chancey. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Who do we have next? Oh, can we do the cross defendant?
Your Honor, who's the cross defendant?
Position 5.
I think she bonded.
Oh, she bonded out.
Yes, Your Honor, she bonded out.
Okay, great. All right, who do we have next?
Position number 6, Ms. Martinez.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, your case is 24 CR 006437F. You're charged with battery, family violence, and cruelty in the third. You understand your rights? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
All right, that's first arrest, so we're going to Ms. Mokake.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on the 10th at 2166 Ben Hill Road in East Point. The victim in this case is Joshua White, who shares a child with the defendant, and they also live in the same residence. When officers arrived at the location, they observed the victim's lip was split open and he was on the floor in what they described as a hysterical manner. The defendant is accused of striking the victim several times, which caused the observable injuries, as well as throwing a tin wall ornament at him. Officers also noticed red marks on the side of the victim's head, neck, and back. The incident did occur in the presence of the victim's brother, a minor with the initials JW. The defendant told officers that the victim attempted to slap her and that she acted in self-defense, but based on the injuries, officers determined the defendant was a primary aggressor. Our office has had a chance to speak with Mr. White, who confirms that they are in a relationship, they live together, and they share one child. The location is Mr. White's mother's residence. The defendant stated he came The victim stated the defendant came home and began attacking him out of nowhere, and this is not the first time the defendant has been violent towards him. His mother then got on the phone and stated that the defendant has been very violent with the victim and has choked and dragged him in the past. They never called the police for those incidents, and she further stated she believes the defendant has some MH issues and needs help. However, the victim did state that he wants contact because of the child and wants her to return to the residence. Based on her limited criminal history or lack of criminal history, the state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services. However, based on the fact that there has been violence between this couple in the past, we are going to request no further contact with this victim, stay away from the incident location. They can have a third-party transfer for their child, anger awareness, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I would ask the court to sound for Mr. Joshua White.
All right, I see you, Mr. White. If you want to make a brief statement, please raise your right hand and unmute your screen. Please do so quickly. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today will be true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Again, if you disagree with anything the state has set forth, that's not what I'm most interested in. What I'm most concerned with are concerns you have for your safety and whether you wish to have contact. What would you like to tell me?
In regards to my safety, I feel safe. I don't feel threatened by anything, but contact, I would like contact because I don't like people seeing people being took away from their child and stuff like that. So I'm cool with contact.
All right. I appreciate you coming to court making that statement. Mr. McLean? I'm sorry, it's Mr. Cook, isn't it? Mr. Cook, please proceed.
Yes, my client is 19 years old, works as a cashier at a local restaurant here. Her position is that the alleged victim was actually the aggressor. We have no objection to a signature bond or any of the conditions of stay away or no contact. We would want to make sure there's a provision. Well, actually, the 1-year-old child is hers. I don't think he's been legitimated, so that should not be an issue. She informs me she has a couple of different locations in the area to which she could move.
Okay. So for now, because I don't think there's been enough cooling off, but we can revisit this at a later date, of course. Defendant is going to receive a $5,000 signature bond at level 1 through pretrial services. It's going to be $4,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2. She's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. And stay away from that location. She can return one time with law enforcement to get any items. They can arrange transport of the child through a third party, and she's to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition. And again, contact can be readdressed at a later date. Best of luck to all parties.
What level, Your Honor?
Level 1. All right. Who do we have next? Best of luck to you, Ms. Martinez.
Position number 1, Mr. Anderson.
All right, Mr. Anderson, your case is 24 CR 006429G. You're charged with battery, family violence, battery against a pregnant female, and cruelty in the third. Do you understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
7. Last arrest was in January, ag assault, hindering 911 call, simple battery, cruelty in the third. It's 24 PI 000492. On probation for shoplifting out of Cobb. I had a 2020 armed robbery hijacking that was dismissed. I got a 2020 fleeing and officer theft by receiving hijacking. It just shows as an arrest out of Henry County.
All right, thank you, Ms. Mokaka.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred March 24th, 2024 at 309 Campbellton Road in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Charity Kent, who shares children with the defendant. Officers met with the victim at a Grady trauma room on March 25th. The victim advised that the day before, the defendant had assaulted her after he saw her walking next to a neighbor with the party's son. The neighbor just happened to be walking his dog at the same time as Kent was walking their son. As Ms. Kent was attempting to leave the defendant's apartment that day, since she had just spent the night because it was their son's birthday, the defendant pulled her hair, causing her to fall to the ground, then punched her on numerous parts of her body, including her thigh, her face, the back of her head, and her arm, which caused the victim to sustain multiple bruises to her body. The incident did occur in front of the party's minor son, and the victim was about 7 months pregnant at the time that the incident happened. The parties do have a criminal history with each other. That 24 PI case Mr. Howard mentioned occurred January 19th, 2024. In that case, the defendant is accused of placing his hands around the victim's neck, making it difficult for her to breathe, hindering her from making an emergency call, and attempting to hang her with a belt. This incident also occurred in the presence of their child. The defendant was ordered to have no further contact with the victim, so he is in violation of that bond condition. The victim has an open case 23 CR 002515Y, in which she is accused of spitting on the defendant. Our office has had a chance to speak with Ms. Charity Kent, who confirmed that the parties are in a relationship. They live together at the incident location, and they now share 2 children. She did confirm the events in the warrant, but she stated that since this incident, the defendant has been taking anger management classes and has been doing better. The victim stated there has been no violence since this incident, and she wants contact and wants him to return home. However, given the party's history and the fact that the defendant was in violation of his bond conditions by having contact, which then turned violent, the state's recommendation is a $2,500 surety bond on the battery family violence, $2,500 surety on the battery against a female who is pregnant, a $1,000 surety on the cruelty to children, absolutely no contact with this victim from the incident location, anger awareness or an FEIP, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And I would ask the court to sound for Ms. Charity Kent.
All right, if Ms. Kent is present, please unmute and raise your right hand. All right, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 21 years old. He is currently working at a trainer at a restaurant. The date of incident was, I believe, in March, and they have had contact, I think fairly frequent contact since then. There's no issue with a stay away from the incident location. He is living elsewhere. We would be asking for the a surety bond in the lowest amount that the court deems appropriate, and a third-party transfer of children. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant, and as stated, she's had some alleged issues with violent activity herself. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, defendant's gonna receive a $3,000 surety bond, $1,500 on the battery family violence, $500 on the cruelty, $1,000 on the battery against the pregnant female. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from that location. They can coordinate transfer of the children through a third party. Have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Anderson. What do we have next?
We have Mr. Cunningham, position number 1 on the add-on.
Oh, so he's present.
Yeah, we wouldn't manage to go get him.
Okay, so we don't have to argue anymore. That's great news. All right, Mr. Cunningham, your case number is 24 CR 00642. Is this right? Uh-oh, that looks right. Hold on. Nope, that's not right. Sorry. Wrong add-on C. Give me 1 second. I have the add-on that only has 1 position on it.
You want the number?
I got it. It's coming. Mr. Cunningham, your case is 24 CR 006370D. You're charged with criminal trespass. You understand your rights? You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And I'm conducting this by internet. Do you understand all of that? All right. He's apprised of his rights.
16. Last arrest was on May 5th, trespass. Got an open trespass in Clayton County. Open trespass in Fulton. Also has an open PI in DeKalb. 2023 FTA, 2023 simple battery conviction, 2021 probation, and 2016 PI conviction. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mokake, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of trespassing at Emory University Hospital located at 550 Peachtree Street, Northeast Atlanta, after he refused to leave following being discharged from the hospital. Given the defendant's history and numerous open cases, as well as the fact that the defense has indicated that he is in need of some services. Potentially, there might be some MH issues. The state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from the incident location except for medical necessity, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook, any objection to that at this point?
It's fine. Unless you want to take it, Keith.
No, I think I'll let you handle it.
Go ahead, Mr. McLean. I'm sorry. I
That's
guess I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we'd ask the court, of course, to consider a signature bond given the nature of the charge. However, we are providing services or trying to, and between now and SAP, we will continue our efforts if the court goes with the recommendation.
All right, we'll take the state's recommendation. It'll be $1,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from that location unless receiving medical services and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I'm going to ask just for a social worker visit, not a formal BHET.
Right, and he said that, but we'll do that some more.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
On a lighter note, I was born at Emory Hospital and went back for 2 degrees, so I wouldn't leave either.
We have position number 2.
Okay. I'm sorry, position number what?
2, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Mr. Denson, 24 CR 006431Y. You're charged with obstruction and shoplifting. Do you understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
25 total. Last arrest was in March. Financial transaction card theft, theft of lost and mislaid property. It's 24 PI 002201. 2021 FTA 2017 parole violation. 2011 burglary conviction and entering auto conviction.
Okay.
Oh, and the 09 theft by taking conviction.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Ms. Mokake?
Yes, Your Honor. I also have that the defendant has 1 arrest cycle out of Alabama and 12 arrest cycles out of Florida, but his last Florida arrest was in 1997. In this case, the defendant is accused of shoplifting items from Publix located at 572 Hank Aaron Drive, Southeast Atlanta. The total amount of items shoplifted was $296.85. When confronted by officers, the defendant resisted arrest and then proceeded to flee on foot. The state's recommendation is going to be for a signature bond, to stay away from all Publix locations, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant is gonna get a $2,000 SOB through pretrial at level 1. 1,000 on each count. He's to stay away from all Publix locations, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
You doing level 1 with open felony?
Yeah, level 1. Because I can't send it through jail.
Yeah, okay. I mean, okay.
Per judge.
Third row. Next, we will go to position number 4, Mr. Griffin.
Okay, Mr. Griffin, your case is 24 CR 006435C. You're charged with criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
27 total. 2023 ag assault, 3 counts, 2 counts of robbery. On probation for that out of Houston County. Also on probation out of Florida for grand theft of an auto. 2022 probation, 2020 resisting conviction, 2019 FTA, and he's wanted out of Houston County.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mokake?
Yes, Your Honor. This is another case in which the defendant was trespassing at Emory University Hospital. He refused to comply with instructions to leave the property, and so he was arrested for criminal trespass. Given his history, the state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond. stay away from the incident location except for medical necessity, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, we would have no objection to the state's position, except we would like, I'm not sure if he's actually banned through the new law, but we would like to get a signature bond.
Defendant's gonna get $1,000 surety bond. Needs to stay away from that location unless receiving medical treatment, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. What do we have next?
We have position number 7, Mr. McWright.
All right, is the courtroom clear?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we can't do this one.
Okay.
Is this the end of the question? No.
We have position number 2 on the add-on, Mr. Edwards.
Okay, can we do that?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Let me go to that add-on again. Oh, it's coming. Hold on. All right. Nope, that's not it either. I can't keep this open.
State, you can get a history for this one. I don't have it.
All right, hold on. Okay, sir, this is add-on 1. No, add-on 2. This is Mr. Isaac Edwards.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, your case is 24 CR 0064442J. You charged with possession of a pistol or a revolver by someone under 18 and possession of marijuana. You understand your rights? Is that a yes? All right, understood. Thank you, Miss. We're gonna go to Miss Mokake.
Yes, I have that this is the defendant's first arrest.
Okay.
This incident occurred September 11th, 2024. Officers observed the defendant and 2 other individuals traveling in a Ford van while wearing ski masks. The tag for the vehicle came up as suspended, the rear brake light was not working, and the driver had committed a few traffic violations, so officers tried to initiate a traffic stop, but the vehicle continued going and did not stop until the driver pulled into the driveway of his home. The occupants of the vehicle were then detained for questioning. The defendant did admit to officers that he had a few grams of marijuana on him when they asked if he had anything illegal on his person, and they did indeed find 3 grams of marijuana. Officers then found a black Glock 26 behind the driver's seat, which the defendant admitted was his. He stated that he had found it in the woods a few weeks prior, but was unable to state where exactly in the woods he found it. His story didn't really make sense to officers, but he was adamant that the gun was his. I know this is the defendant's first arrest, but this is a case involving a firearm, and we have concerns that he was in a possession of a firearm and that he is underage. So the state's recommendation is going to be a $5,000 surety bond for the possession charge, a $500 surety bond for the marijuana charge. A curfew should be put in place for this defendant, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Mr. Cook, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 17 years old. He is currently a senior at South Atlanta High School. He lives with his grandmother. He has, not surprisingly, no income of any sort. So we would ask the court to bear that in mind when shaping the bond. Beyond that, we would just leave it in the court's discretion.
All right, defendant is gonna get a split bond. It's gonna be 3,000 surety on the possession and 500 signature through the jail on the possession of marijuana. He's to have absolutely no alcohol, drugs, weapons, including the subject weapon as a condition, and he will be reset to the all-purpose calendar. Is there anything additional?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that was 3,000 on the pistol. And
Yes.
500 on the marijuana.
Correct. 500 SOB.
$3,500 SOB. I've got 3,500 split bond.
Yes, 3,000 on the 3,000 surety on one, and 5,000 on the marijuana, I mean 500 on the marijuana through the jail.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Do we need a co-signer on this?
He got a surety and then he's going through the jail, so no. I didn't send it through pretrial.
But I'm thinking on this good bond, when he get out, because he's 17, he still wouldn't need one?
A bonding company, he shouldn't need a co-signer. He's gonna have to go through a bonding company, so
Okay,
yeah, he should be okay.
all right.
All right, is there another position we can take at the jail?
One other thing, Your Honor, because he's 17, is there a curfew? And he's
I'm
still,
not gonna do that one yet.
all right.
Are we gonna see position 11? I know we have Mr. McWright that we're waiting to occur. Is there an announcement on 11?
And Your Honor, 11 right now, she's talking to Mr. McLean on the phone. He's interviewing her. She just came over Alpharetta.
I'm sorry. Okay, understood.
What
All right.
about 7?
Who? I didn't hear you.
Position 7?
We're holding on that one to go last so that the courtroom can be clear.
Okay, and how about, maybe I already have that.
I'm an accountant.
What y'all do with 15?
I got my badge.
There.
15 is a $5 cash bond.
Okay, can we do number 7? Is the courtroom not clear? Mr. Howard, will you?
I could probably
Accounting associate.
bring him to courtroom 1.
That would work.
All right.
In the meantime, Mr. Howard, you want to give us the history?
Oh,
Position 7. Well, I guess he needs to hear it, so never mind.
he need to hear it.
He needs to hear the history.
He know what his history is.
Sometimes there's some discrepancies. People have asked us.
That's why we got the state. The state backs me up. But we can wait.
We can wait for a few moments. Say it's not me, it's not me.
That's fine.
I'm sorry, what did we say was going on with position number 11?
Mr. McLean is interviewing now.
Okay. Just going through my paperwork.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. All right, let's take up, can courtroom 2 still hear me? That's the only problem with that. We're gonna take up, courtroom 2 can still hear me, can't they? Can we turn, at courtroom 2, can you turn off the audio just for a second? And can we stop the live stream, please?